Welcome to a new series that I finally got around to make, which is an MLS save. I'm mainly at learning about the working of the league, and in the meantime, I will be doing some experimenting with tactics. In past series that were tactical experiments, I tried a 4-4-2 without very much luck. I tried players out of position that didn't go well, but what it was meant to do was done, and it seemed that a player being out of position or not didn't seem to have much importance other than the game wouldn't concede them a very high rating, but nothing else. Or so it seemed after half a season. And I did an experiment on playing attacking football in FM15 with Sporting de Gijón using a 4-2-3-1 formation and a bit of a 4-1-2-1, and that one was very successful, allowing me to beat Barcelona for first time with an attacking tactic. So in this save, the tactical experiment that I will be doing, though not necessarily from the start of the series, will be playing with a 3 center back formation, which is something I have barely done. I did it a little in my mind save of FM15. Didn't go especially well, didn't go especially bad, because it was also an special save in regards of how I played, since I didn't use the attributes but only went by scouting reports, strengths, weaknesses, and so on. Therefore, I didn't have all the knowledge of everything that the player could do or not do. So I will be trying that, but the aim is getting there, constructing the team from where it is now. I chose Philadelphia because it was without a manager in the starting patch, though I am using the 15.3 patch, the transfer update for the window in the winter. The team is expected to finish 11, which is in the middle of the table. There are 20 teams, I think, or maybe only 19 in the league. And we will be taking a look at what things are in the club. We see from the start that it seems the team is expected to be using a 3 center back formation, which is complete luck. I just discovered it right now. Another comment, if anyone has curiosity about it, the skin I am using is Scorpio. And I will be looking at things and showing you later. So let's go with the first inbox message that is important in regards to knowing how this works. MLS contract and registration information. Your personal assistant has taken time to explain some of the MLS contract rules so as to ease your instructions into the Philadelphia job. Philadelphia may assign a maximum of 2 designated players. These players are typically of a higher stature and greater quality than the rest of the squad, and as such, their contribution toward the salary cap will be equal to the maximum senior salary of $388,000 per annum, regardless of his total wage. If the player signed during the summer transfer window, clubs get a 50% discount on the salary cap impact. That is, 2 players that are not subject to cap limits, but that they take a certain amount from the limit total without counting all of their wages into that total. And at this moment, we have two designated players we can use. I think that one can be able to buy a new designated players through trades and so on. I don't know if there's a total limit of how many designated players a team can have, or by trading one can have as many as one can within the limits of the two players like that per team, the total. However, a designated player 20 years old or younger, referred to as a young designated player, only comes on $150,000 per annum against the club's salary budget, whereas a young designated player of 21 to 23 years old counts as $200,000 per annum against the club's salary budget. The budget charged for the mid-season signing of a young TP is $150,000 per annum, and this amount cannot be lowered with allocation funds. Clubs will not have to buy the third TP roster slot to accommodate a young designated player. So if I think I understand this right, apart from the discount for the salary cap impact that a designated player contract has for younger players as a measure to make more attractive for teams to invest in youth, is that the amount that is charged to the budget for designated players might be lowered with the allocation funds. I'm not really sure what that means. At this moment, I think it might mean that I pay a certain amount of allocation funds to the organization of the MLS, then a designated player might be counting as less money against the wage budget, and that one can buy a third designated player roster slot, but that is not necessary if the third designated player is a young designated player. On to the next paragraph. There are two main types of squad registration slots in the MLS: senior and off-budget. Players registered on a senior slot will always count towards the salary cap, whilst off-budget players are given an exemption. So there are certain type of player that one can buy without them counting against the salary budget cap. Players on designated and senior contracts may only be registered by using a senior slot. This is obvious. Players earning the league minimum salary of $49,000 per annum are on senior minimum salary contracts and may be registered using either a senior or an off-budget slot. So this is the kind of player that can be used as an off-budget slot. So once a team has all the salary cap filled with the players he wants, if he's paid too much wages to a certain group of them and has consumed the cap, he can fill needed places with off-budget using players on the minimum wage. Players signed from MLS club's academy are categorized as homegrown to retain this status until they permanently move to a non-MLS club. Again, these players might be registered using either senior or off-budget slot. So does this mean that the homegrown players can be signed in off-budget even if they are above the minimum salary? I think for senior homegrown players registered as off-budget, The combined wages are exempt from the salary cap up to a maximum of $125,000 per annum. And so then there's a limit. If I have one of such players with a $125,000 per annum, then I can't have any more seniors off budget, which makes sense. Generation Adidas contracts pay above the senior minimum salary value and are given to the highest rated prospects coming through the draft system. They are always exempt from the salary cap and can only be registered using an off-budget slot. So this is a special type of contract that, by the sound of it, would be meant for brilliant young players. There's not really a limit to how many players one could give young players, it sounds like, and they are not counting towards the salary cap and must be registered as an off-budget slot, which is something that I will be saying what means as I make the registration of the squad. In the reserves, we have only 2 players that are at the current moment with some decent current ability, that are both of them out on loan. Zach McMath is on Colorado, and Carlos Valdez is at Nacional. So we're on to the main squad. Mboli is an Algerian goalkeeper, and this thing has not set up the view as I no, it's set up according to the assistant manager. He is our best keeper, and I like his reflexes one-on-ones. I do like better quick kicking and throwing, but and as well as area command of area and communication, but he is indeed a decent player. The other keeper is Andre Blake from Jamaica, and he is rated as a Little Walls goalkeeper, and my evaluation coin is the same. He's a decent keeper, but it's clearly not as good as Mboli. Before going on, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 players that have the center back position as the natural. 1, 2, 3, and 4 fullbacks, but of them might be only one has wing back as natural, but probably Labaud is also good in the right wing back position, though it's not necessary that I will be using wing backs. Then 3 players that can be playing in the defensive midfield position, 1 and 2 in the central midfield position, plus the 3 that can play in the defensive midfield position, 2 wingers that can play in the midfield, and another big amount of players that can play in the striker position. So I would say that the squad is very close to have a distribution of positions that can be used well with a 3-man at the back defense, probably a 3-4-3 or 3-4-1-2 or 4 or 3-5-2 formation. I will have a look right now about the center backs, but I will not be doing the full squad review in this chapter, I think, unless I am currently in not too long the episode. So the first center back player who can use in the center back position is Sinon Williams. According to the assistant, he is far from being the best in the center back position. He can play in both wing backs position and wing position as well. Almost he can play anywhere in the pitch, more or less. So he is a very versatile player, and therefore one I want to have in my team. He is rounded out with a very long throws stat and is average in everything, excellent at nothing, poor at nothing, though his long throws are very good. He could play it anywhere, but in general, when center backs position, I like them with very good jumping range. I can turn this series into another experiment regarding that, whether players in the center back position who are not players with a very high jumping reach. So now, in order of preference by the assistant, are Steven Vitoria, which has the aerial ability jumping reach that I like. His marking and tackling are good enough, positioning is good enough. His aggression, anticipation, and bravery are better. Composure is not bad at all. Concentration is good. Decisions are decent. He looks like a good center back. According to this assistant, his best role will be a limited defender. I was expecting that perhaps to see a ball-playing defender, at least central defender. I can see why ball-playing defender is not his preferred and perhaps the worst of the roles, because his passing is not very good and the vision is average. But I'm liking him. Next is Austin Berry. Better marking and tackling and passing. Not too great bravery, but it's not poor either. Positioning is the letdown of this player, only 9. And according he's better as a playing defender than a normal playing central defender, but still better as a limited defender. I am not going to use center backs to have it up, I think. And the third and the last center back is Ethan White, who has mediocre anticipation, decent ramping reach, decent pace, unlike Austin Barry, who was slow, or slowish. Not so the concentration and composure, but I think it is good enough. If I'm using 3 center backs, I would like more than just 2 players. I'm sorry, 4 players, and or 5, out of which at least 1 or 2 of which 2 are considered mediocre. This player as center back looks also good, not very high jumping, but useful for that experiment. I think I will be going through the other positions. Central midfield, we have Nogueira, Vincent Nogueira, who is more of a playmaker style of player. Low strength, it's not too bad, but I'd rather have a playmaker who is a bit more strong than that, but not necessary for the role of playmaker. He is more an offensive style of playmaker. And he's the best central midfielder according to the assistant. Then Maurice Edu, who is already seen before, our rounded off player with decent defensive ability and offensive ability, more like I would say a box to box midfielder. So mostly useful at any type of role and duty. The third midfielder is Fred, who has poor physicals, is also more of an attacking type of player, more attacking than Nogueira, and I wouldn't be very happy with this player. Then Labud, who's more of a right midfielder. So it seems for now that central midfield is a weak position. For the right position, I hope this is just the fourth best. Sebastian Letou is the next. And he's a decent crosser, not very fast but not slow either. He's more of an offensive force than defensive, but he looks average to me. Then CJ Sapong, who to me looks a preferable option in the right of the midfield. Though the assistant still says that Fred is better, and Edu as well as Xenon Williams, which I will agree with this one. I think for the right winger position here, Xenon Williams is the best player, but I think we had him as a strong candidate for the center back position. So now for the midfielder left, according to this, we have not really. I don't know why best players are so diverse. If it is because the assistant is not the same that makes those recommendations. This looks decent, not very fast but not slow, decent crosser, dribbler, and with the send off the ball, he looks like a good candidate to start the games in the left wing. Then against Sebastian Letou, which is not bad. Danny Cruz, who's not especially good. He's fast, but little more than that. And finally, we will see strikers. So a striker, the best, according to the assistant, is Connor Cassie, who looks like a target man of good quality, decent vision, passing. Not too good crossing, but crossing is not very important, I guess. Good dribbling, finishing, can pressure a little weak, but not bad. Being good in the air, he's not especially slow. Then the next best player is Litu, which as a striker I say he's not anything especially good. He's not especially bad. I would say he's okay. Then back to Sapon, who as a striker he's more like average, but he's look good. The Narain in this level of football, that is the MLS. These players that I am naming average are indeed not that bad, not bad, a little more than average, but they are good. And then Andrew Wenger, who is as a striker doesn't look especially good, quite average with his finishing, first touch, dribbling just around 10, as well as composure and concentration, decisions as well, determination, and of the values of 10. So I would say the main weakness, what we need to get, are players for the wings and for the midfield, central and sides. There are some players that can be used well in the left or right side, but I would like some more quality there, at least as a backup. And we definitely need at least 2 midfielders that are good defensively. And we can use the excess of so many strikers and players who can play as striker to use in trades to get better midfielders from other teams. And that is all that I am going to say for this day. Thank you for watching. If you feel like this deserves a like, give a like, and comment if you feel like commenting, or do nothing if you don't feel like doing anything, and dislike if you think this is bad. And at the start of the series I forgot something that I think is relevant to say, that is, I am doing this series with the fixed objective of just speaking English. I am not English, I'm Spanish. English is my second language. I've been very long years without having to speak a word of English, and though I am good reading and listening to English, as long as it's not some certain types of accents. When it comes to speaking it, I am still rusty and very far from being fluent, as you can hear from this chapter. And that is now everything for today, for real. Goodbye.